All we were discussing about the C character sets, like what all the elements that make up the C programming language. So in the previous video we have learnt about the alphabets, digits, special characters, the escape sequences, delimiters, keywords, identifiers, data types, constants, variables, expressions and comments. So if you have not watched the previous video, so I request you to please watch the previous video where I had discussed about all these things. But here some of the things are very most important. So like the identifiers, data types, constants, variables and comments. So these are the very most important things. So let us discuss it in detailed manner. So firstly I will explain about the identifier. So let us understand about what is an identifier. I have already told you like what is an identifier. Identifier means like we are giving a name to something. In programming we are giving a name to something, so that are identifiers. So like there are very different concepts in programming, like there are functions, there are variables, there are array, there are structures. So that all are the concepts. So we had given that a name also to identify it, so that are called the identifier. So I think it is quite overwhelming here, but I wish you that you will learn these concepts in the later videos. But as of now you can focus here like what really what are the rules to declare an identifier. So for writing any identifier, it must start with an alphabet or underscore. It must start with the alphabet or underscore. It is the first rule for declaring any identifier. But here I want to point out one thing, like we should not use underscore as the first letter for any identifier, because it is not a good practice in programming. Like suppose if I want to write your name, so suppose my name is Anjani, Anjani. If I want to specify something for Anjani, so I can write Anjani. But it is applicable in programming also, because it consists of alphabets, underscore or numbers. Underscore. It contains numbers also. Anjani 1, Anjani 1 2, Anjani 1 2 3 and so on. Anjani underscore 1 2 3 is also fine. But it is not a good practice to start with underscore Anjani. It should not be a good practice. It is syntactically correct, but it is not a good practice in case of writing our programs. So we must avoid it. I have not saying that it is not correct. It is correct, but it should not be your programming practice. So the first rule is clear, and it contains, I have already told, like it contains what? Alphabet, numbers and underscore. So these three things are only applicable for any identifier. There must not be any other things. And the second one is that the keyword should not be used as an identifier. Keyword should not be an identifier. Like suppose there is a keyword in C like int. I have not discussed int till yet, but please as of now please understand, like int is a keyword, so we must not use int as identifier. It is prohibited, completely prohibited. So these are all the things for identifier. So next topic is like data types. We will explain here about the data types. So data types, so please I am writing all the data types and then you can see here. So yes, so there are the terms like data types. So please understand here very carefully what is data types. So from you can see like data types. Data types means the type of data which we want to store in the computer. So I hope it is clear. Please listen it again. Data types, the type of data which we want to store in the computer. See, computer doesn't know like which kind of data we want to store. So how computer can identify? With the help of data type, which we want to tell like this is this type, this is of this type, this is of this type. So basically there are 4 types of data types in C. Please remember this differs from programming languages to programming languages. So in C there are mainly 4 types of data type. First one is the char, int, float and double. Let us explain it. Char means the character. Character means any alphabet that can be called as character. For the sake of understanding, character simply means any alphabet. Int means integer value, like any number which we want to store, it falls under integer. Int. Integer means collection of negative numbers and positive numbers and 0. This is all integer. So this is applicable via int type. If we write int, it indicates that it is of integer type. Next one is the float. Float and double, these two are for the decimal number representation. If we want to store any decimal value, so we use either float or double. And float means to store smaller decimal numbers, and double is to store the larger decimal values. So I have further divided into char is not further divided. Int is divided into short int and long int. Short int is for storing the small numbers, and long int is for storing large numbers. Same for the double and long double. It is for storing small decimal point values in double, and for storing large decimal values we use long double. I hope it is clear. As we proceed in the videos, we will deeply understand it also. So I request you to please follow this playlist, and you will be very happy, and you will also feel very confident in this programming language. Yes. So next one is the constant. So please pay attention here. Constant is of, I can say, 3 types: numeric, character and string. Like here we can see like constants is divided into 3 parts: the numeric, character and the string. And numeric is further divided into 2 parts: integer and real constant. And integer is further divided into 3 parts: decimal constant, octal constant and hexadecimal constant. Don't feel overwhelming here. These all things are pretty simple. Like first one is the what the meaning of the constant. Constant is simply like we specify any value to something that cannot be changed. So that is what constant. So first one is the numeric constant. As the number suggests, numeric constant is what? The number which we specify, that is numeric constant. Character constant. Suppose we want to retain character C, all over the program. So we make C is what? Constant. That is character constant. Numeric constant contains the digits or numbers. Character constant contains what? The character, the one alphabet. That is character constant. Similarly, in the string constant, string means the collection of collection of alphabets. That is called what? Word. So that is called the string. Please don't confuse. String also includes the sentence also. So a sentence or a collection of word, it is called string. So I hope it is clear. And the numeric is divided into what? Two parts, the integer constant and the real constant. Integer constant, I think it is pretty much clear. Like we have the numbers, the negative numbers, positive numbers, 0. So that is integer constant. And the real constant. Real constant contains the decimal values, the octal values, and the hexadecimal values. Like here, for the sake of programming, I will tell you the brief about these two. Octal, I think decimal is clear. Decimal is what? This is the simple, like the numbers. Decimal constants is the number. And octal constant, decimal constants range is what? 0 to 9, which has the base 10. For octal we have base 8, and for hexadecimal we have base 16. I recommend you to watch on YouTube like the octal number system and the hexadecimal number system. I can explain these two in the upcoming videos, but as of now I am not explaining here these two because it is pretty specific for the concept. So that is why I request you to please watch these two on other channel, but I will upload it very soon. So I hope it is all clear. And now I think I am running out of time, but I can explain the last topic here. The rest two topics like variables. See, variables in the maths is like what? We assume anything that we do not know as variables. Like suppose the age of Ram is X years. So we do not know the age of Ram, then we assume it as X years. But here in programming, variable means it is a name. See, please remember, it is a name that is used to store values in memory. In computer memory, we have to specify the name for any particular thing, like what we want to store. So that is that can be identified using variable. So I think it is clear. Like if we can write here example int x. Int is what? Just we have finished. Int is a data type and x is a variable. Here the meaning is totally changed. Please understand here very carefully. Int is a data type means what? We are specifying that it stores the type of integer, either the negative values or the positive values or the 0. We specified here int. It is of integer type. If we type here float, it is totally fine. If we write here double, totally fine. If we write char, totally fine. The second term here is x. X is the variable where the integer value is going to be stored. So in memory, if we consider this box as a memory of computer, see, you can assume it is a memory, it is a memory of computer. So how it is going to be there, like it is a place where any integer value is going to store, like 25 I can assume. We assume 25, it is an integer value, yes. So this value is going to be stored in computer memory. And how we can identify like this is this place, how we identify this place? By using this x. So this is variable name, so this is x, that points to 25. Here see the name that is used to store values. This is the name which is used to store the value of 25 here. So this is the variable. If we, in the next page, if we type char feet or if we write double avg, so this is what, this is also, feet is the name which is used to store the character type values. avg is a name which is used to store the double type of value. So I think variable is pretty much clear. So how we can declare the variable declaration? How we declare the variable? Declaration means what? It is how we can store the value here. Suppose if we write int x equal to 5, we have specified here, and then after we have to place semicolon. So it I think this line's meaning is pretty clear. There is a x variable that is storing integer type data, that's value is equal to 5, means x is storing 5. And how we specify it? By writing the int keyword. I think it is very much clear, very easy concept here. Suppose if we write here, we can also write declare is like this, int x only. So what is the basic difference between these two? It has fixed value as of now. This value is fixed 5 is assigned to x, but here we have not assigned any value to x. So here it will store garbage value. It is a terminology which we used here, garbage value. Garbage value means any value which we do not know, any value, any random value that computer can store, that is called the garbage value. Similarly we can write here for the float also, float jet barabar 2.36. Similarly we can write char ab barabar y. And see, if for character storage we have to specify it using this single quotation marks. For float not necessary, for integer not necessary, for double also not necessary, like double y equal to 2.36210023 and so on. So I think it is pretty much clear. So now we will move to the final topic for today, that is called comments. We have also discussed in the previous video for the comments, like anything which we want to write for ourselves, not for the compiler point of view. So that is called the comment. For single line comment we use the double slash, and for the multi-line we use slash star and then our text, and then in the last we use star slash. So I hope it is all clear, and thank you so much guys for your all patience and listening to me. Please follow along this playlist, you will definitely be very much confident, and it is I think the easiest explanation over the YouTube. And in tomorrow's video we will be discussing about how we can print some values, get some values from the user. So these stuffs which we will discuss in the upcoming videos. So thank you so much guys, have a nice day. Thank you so much.